Hello, my name is Leon, and I've been a wargamer slash roleplayer for a very long time, but I've never really ran my own roleplay campaign. I've been playing games since the 90s, but I've only ran 2 roleplay games myself. The first one was in the early 2010s, and the second one was a few weeks ago. See, last year I was asked to take part in a roleplay group because one of the other players was taking some time off for personal reasons, so I agreed to join. The group I play with consists of 3 other players, and they take turns as a GM, meaning we play a huge variety of games so we don't get bored. From Dungeons & Dragons to things like Fallout and Transformers, we'll happily play anything, and I thought to myself that it was about time that I ran a campaign. I dipped my toe in with a one-shot called There's Something Wrong with the Chickens, a fun little game that involves the players playing as chickens that have been gifted with Eldritch horrors so they can stop the Bryson family. But for the campaign, I've chosen to do something different. For my first main campaign, I've decided to go with Shadowdark, an old school roleplay that is based around the original D&D, and a game that one of my players has always wanted to play. It's simple enough for a beginner to run, and I have the quick start guides for both the player and the game master. Thankfully, the game is close enough to D&D, a game that I have some experience with being a player, so I should be okay at running Shadowdark. That's not to say I'm not nervous about running the game even though I'm playing with friends. It's very nerve-wracking. I want everyone to have fun and to enjoy themselves as much as I have playing their games, so I'm going to try and play to my strengths. Firstly, I'm not going to let myself get overwhelmed with trying to create an original story out of thin air, so I'm going to use Drive-Through RPG to look for some dungeons to crawl and then work a little story around each one. I have 3 sessions to run, so I've downloaded a few to choose from. The player who wanted to play also sent me a small scenario from Drive-Through to help me get started, as he knew I was unsure on how to begin. We play on Roll20 and over Discord, as it's a lot easier than trying to meet up each Sunday, as most of the group have children. I asked one of the members for a little tutorial on how to use Roll20 from a GM's point of view, and off I went. The first part of my 3-parter is a scenario called The Concealed Abbey of the Dragonfly Horde. I've made a couple of changes so I can fit my party in and weave more of a story into the game other than just go in the dungeon and kill what's inside. Admittedly, this is exactly what they'll end up doing, but I just wanted the beginning of the adventure to feel a bit more involved than just turning up to the dungeon. With that in mind, I used a little map to create a tavern and a store, just in case I wanted to buy anything, and the game will start in the tavern. Plus, I can use these areas to get my nerves out of the way. Plan on doing voices for the characters so the world feels more lived in, and having a tavern owner and a store owner will help me get into the swing of things. So, after setting it all up on Roll20 and making a few spare characters, as it's very easy to die in Shadowdark, I went ahead and wrote a small script just to help set the scene, and then in turn it would help me keep track of things I needed to do. Before I knew it, the big day was here, and I don't have much footage of that as I didn't want to worry about recording what I was doing, and despite a few nerves to begin with, I am very pleased to report that everything went well and our heroes successfully made their way through the Abbey of the Dragonfly, and it gave me lots of ideas for the next 2 games. So what did I learn? Well, for me at least, having a small script helped me keep track of what I was doing, and having it there to keep an eye on things worked really great. I really enjoyed writing little descriptions for the areas, and it also helped the players get immersed with the game. I also found that it's okay to ask others for a little help now and again. Everyone I play with is very experienced, so if I had trouble deciding on what skill to make a test for, asking the others really made the atmosphere a lot more relaxed. I learned that sometimes it's good to go with the flow of the group and let them lead the story. It's not as hard as you'd think to come up with little scenarios that you can easily use to get them back on track. But most importantly, I learned that the real key is to relax. Just let yourself go and have some fun with it. It is a game after all. This channel is normally dedicated to the painting side of the wargaming hobby, but as I'm also delving into the RPG side of it as well, I might document my progress as I go. So far, what I've done has been absolutely wonderful, and I've really enjoyed doing it. In fact, I've got far more into it than I thought I would do, so I'll probably do an update video for the sort of 2nd and 3rd part of the game. However, that's all for now. I hope you liked the video, and if you want to join me on this journey, give the channel a subscribe, maybe like the video, and give it a thumbs up, and I guess I will see you on the next time. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.